Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto and welcome to this new video after the US opening, which I forgot opened 1 hour earlier due to the time zone, well, not the time zone, but the summertime inception in the US. Going to do a full update on Bitcoin, on the markets, what's going on, what to expect, what's possible, everything. That's what we'll do. So there's quite a lot to talk about regarding the fundamentals right now, what's going on. We've had a relatively bearish start of this week, which, well, to a certain extent was expected. I mean, we talked about the possibility of this happening this morning, and on X, if you don't follow me there already, then make sure to do so. But on X, I also talked about it briefly in my weather report, which I publish every single day on there. So if you want some more free info regarding the markets, regarding altcoins, make sure to follow that. But that's what we'll talk about. So let's get right into it. Before we get into that, I did quickly want to do some sort of an announcement at first, because right now the markets are quite difficult, right? And a lot of traders are struggling, and a lot of spot investors even more. I still think there is money to be made in these markets, all right? If you know where to look, there's plenty of opportunities. In the Signal group, for example, we hit this amazing trade right here on B3. We opened that yesterday, hit a total of 36% from the entry, and there's plenty of opportunities like these. I mean, we also in the chat rooms, we also saw this very early. We saw this as early as right here at like 5.8 cents. After that, it went up a big 50% still, and we opened a little trades on this morning, was up 20%. So there's plenty of opportunities. If you want to become a better trader, and if you actually want to be able to make some money still in these markets, consider joining the Signal group. Links are down in the description. It's up to you in the end, but just wanted to get that out there, because I do not talk about it very often, I think. But all right, getting into the markets. So US market opened about 45 minutes ago. Since then, what we've seen is that the S&P 500 has dropped down even lower, even though it's at a major support and even though it has left behind a gap to the upside. And just in general, the fundamentals right now in the market do not seem great, right? I mean, the biggest problem, or at least in my opinion, one of the biggest problems is this bearish pressure coming from the macroeconomic and macro political situation, I would say as well. But especially the bearish S&P 500, which has now been bearish since the 20th of February, is not great. And then at the same point of time, and I've talked about it this morning as well, the VIX is also up, so that's the volatility index, which in my opinion just shows that there's quite a lot of unrest, or at least instability. So that is what I think is pushing Bitcoin down. Now, I already told you earlier this morning that was a possibility. Now our main support, and I would say our last support, is right here between 80,000 and 78,000. So the big question at this point of time, in my eyes, talking about Bitcoin, is can we actually hold that support, yes or no? And in all fairness, I mean, I will not set any buy limits, all right? I will need to see some sort of confirmation, just like I needed to see some sort of buy confirmation earlier today when the price got up to 82,000 before I'll buy. And look, I've said this before, but I think the S&P 500 is at a very strong support level. I would be surprised if we do not at least get a strong bounce from here, a little bit more of a bounce than what we've had so far after the US opening on Friday, because we did bounce there, but not so much. And just in general, I mean, I don't really believe that the stock market should fall down much lower. There's obviously a lot going on, and there's this fear that they will push the markets down much lower for ultra pain before the market's bouncing. But then still, like, the S&P 500 is still an amazing asset. We are still at an amazing support level. So I actually do still think it is most likely that ultimately Bitcoin will be able to hold this level here. All right, now hold this level here could be a lot. It could be that we bounce right now. Could also be that we drop down to 77,000 and then reclaim, but ultimately that is still what I think is most likely. And then depending on the development afterwards, we either reclaim 83,500 or not. But that is something I'll keep you updated on. For now, I would think away this and say that this is my most likely scenario for Bitcoin. And therefore, talking about altcoins, that's also my thoughts on a lot of altcoins. Most of the altcoins right now are just 100% correlated to Bitcoin, as you can see right now. There's certain altcoins that are outperforming Bitcoin slightly, and if we take a look at the volume, what you can see is that Super Rare, for example, still is pulling a lot of volume. Shell is pulling a lot of volume. IOST is pulling quite a lot of volume. Movement Network is pulling a lot of volume. So you can trade these coins with high volume and low correlation. Here to the right, you can see some correlation stats. You can do that, but honestly, with whatever altcoin you're trading, even if the correlation is low, I would wait for Bitcoin to bottom first. All right, and it also looks too late to short right now because Bitcoin is near some major support levels. But those would be my thoughts for now. So most of the coins I think will move something like this. The Bitcoin dominance is still very, very high. Even though it's dropping, it's still high compared to the last couple of months. So do not expect most altcoins to outperform Bitcoin. Most will fall down lower. And then you'll be fine. And like I said, when Bitcoin actually does find support, I think certain altcoins can push up quite high. I still think XRP is a very strong altcoin. I think that can actually push up quite a bit once Bitcoin actually finds support. We actually saw some momentum come in for Chainlink. I still think that's an amazing project. Litecoin is also still a very strong project, especially over the last 2 months. So keep your eyes on those bigger altcoins. Primarily keep your eyes on Bitcoin, all right? And I will try to keep you updated on the situation as much as I can as well over the course of today and tomorrow, of course. But for now, I would say that is what you need to know, all right? So be careful, keep your eyes on the fundamentals, be patient as well, and stay safe. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.